ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters, this is the Apex Online Racing iRacing Formula 3 League, Season 1, Round number 5, the penultimate round, here at Road America. My name is King Kodiak, and I'll be one of your commentators throughout this evening's race. Joining me in the commentary box, always happy to say, is my faithful companion, my good friend, Mr. Stevie SQ.
Hello everybody, hello King Kodiak. It's good evening to you all. Hope we're all in for a couple of hours of very good evening race. Brilliant track, Road America. A bit of a classic. Pretty fast as well, from what we're seeing. Very hot track temp, 37 degrees at last look, which is going to heat those tyres up considerably.
Oh yes, you catch us at the beginning of qualifying. It is a best of three time laps they have to set what they can. As you can see, they can hear everybody else, but they can't see anyone else out there, so they have the track to themselves completely. And this is the qualifying for the feature race. There will be a separate one-shot qualifying session for the sprint race that will follow. So before we watch people going around that, let's have a quick look at where we stand with the standings. Rennie Osterkamp still leads the way over Phil Reed by 18 points, in a big gap between Phil Reed and Canoe Munson and Evan Imre. They themselves are very close together. Actually, it's quite big battle there for third position, with Imre 4, Lindstrom 5, Connor Ryan 6, Thompson 7, Morris 8, and Robertson 9, and Kerry Nolden, who alas is no longer in the league, is still in there in the top 10. So the team standings very close between AWR Orange still leading the way over SimRC. Then a bit of a gap between SimRC and AWR Yellow. So two AWR branded teams in the top 3. Actually, 3 of them in the top 6, to be fair. Radicals Online in 4, then VRT E-Racing Orange in 5th, and then AWR Blue 6th. The Cube Racing Simulator in 7th, with VRT E-Racing Purple 8. UI1, PSR 9, and the Super Swedes round out our top 10 teams.
Yeah, it's teams is incredibly close at the top, and based off current form, you've got SimRC, which is Rennie Osterkamp and Patrick Kessler. Patrick missed half of this season so far, so they're on the bit of the back foot at the minute, and Team AOR Orange, Phil Reed and Kerry Nolden, one of those drivers isn't racing anymore. Team AOR Yellow has got 2 drivers. Okay, maybe not race-winning drivers, but they are putting in the points and getting some really good results.
Yeah, you can't underestimate consistency. Most certainly not. So we're just waiting for some times to come onto the board. As yet, no grid positions have been allocated.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty tight for them to get 3 laps in 10 minutes. Over 2 minutes a lap here, and is it 2 minutes? Not really.
We're just under. Yeah, we were seeing we saw about 3 drivers get into the 155s in the practice session that preceded this. So yeah, and it's very close. We had the entire field, 27 cars, join us for this evening's race, and they were all separated by less than 2.5 seconds top to bottom. Absolutely amazing. And now we're starting to see some times come on the board. And Tim Delisle, who was indeed the lead man in the practice session, well, we got a few times coming in, as Tim Delisle was the first one to get a time on the board with a 156.5. That's been usurped by Rennie Osterkamp, and Stefan Herman as well has got his time on the board. Luke Barton, Evan Imre, Alexei Sorokin, Erkan Lindstrom, Saradov, and David Santana, all getting times on the board. Jordan Pierce and Connor Ryan are jumping in as well. These aren't particularly representative from what we've seen previously, although they're not entirely far off. So there's a few corners. What?
So we've got some time still to come from. Oh, Tim Delisle has had a moment as one of the corners that he needs to be careful of at turn 6. Uphill braking just on the crest, and then you have to immediately flick left for the 90-degree left hand.
I just completely let go. There was no catching that at all.
No, but yeah, just to point out, we're currently Stefan Herman on a 56.3s on pole. Tim Delisle in the practice did a 55.8. Rennie Osterkamp 55.9. So they've got at least 6-7 tenths still compared to their previous best.
Yeah. So there's a few tenths for them to find, or a few tenths that they have proven that they can find, I should say. So a lot to still come because we have got 16 times on the board, still waiting for times for just around half the field. So lots of shuffling still to go on. Luke Barton has jumped up into 4th with 56.661. And just looking at the gaps in between each driver, as you can see on the overlay, it's still pretty close. Erkin has got a bit of a gap between himself and Conor Ryan. We're seeing René Oskamp come through turn 14, the final turn. And does he improve? Christoph Holstein jumps up into 4th with a 56.6. Oskamp, does he improve? Nope, that one was invalid. And it's not much time left on the board, only 3:40. If anyone's got any laps left, they haven't got a lot of time to put them on. I think Stefan Hermann's had his 3. Has he?
No, he'll be on instead. Oh! René has abandoned this lap.
He has. That's René Oskamp. Hey, we'll start no higher than 2nd.
Hermann still looks to be on it. I'll check. Make sure. Yep, he's still got one more lap, so this lap will count. But Stefan Hermann, compared to his practice time, is about where that's about his limit from what we've seen. So it'll be interesting to see if he can do any more than Tim Delisle. He looks also to be on a lap. This one will count if he. Well, so far it will. It's not what he's not exceeded his 3-lap limit so far.
So far, so good. Awesome stuff. And Phil Reed has jumped up to the stop spot.
He needed to do that. I looked at him earlier and he was down in like 17th. If he wants to keep this championship challenge alive, he needs to be up there with René.
Wow.
That was only his 2nd lap and he's on another one now, so he'll get time to finish it. But yeah, there might still be a little bit more in there. I wonder if the track's changed a little, because there are people doing. I'm surprised at the pace of some of the much quicker guys we saw.
But equally, there could have been slipstreaming going on in the practice times.
Absolutely,
they can't do that. They can't slipstream no one. Oh, well, it'd be interesting if they tried.
Yes.
I can hear you there.
They can't. They can't hear him.
René Oskamp. Oh no, that's gone horribly wrong for René Oskamp. What on?
Oh, Tim Delisle and Luke Barton, and Phil Reed's just stuffed his lap. He spun coming out of turn 8, so he's not going to improve any higher than 4th.
Oh no, he was pole for up until that moment. Now Delisle, Hermann, and Barton have just jumped up. So Tim Delisle getting into the 55s, the only man to do so. 1:55.943. Conor Ryan has jumped up to 7th. Daniel Morris in 8th. Interesting. Gio Cortese was up in the 55s during the practice. He's on a hot lap, so
he's going to count. He's got to. Oh, whether he's going to finish it in time. Yeah, this is not like normal qualifying. That once this timer runs out, they get maybe 6 or 7 seconds. It doesn't matter. We've
seen a few people do that. He's with that, and he's put it in the sand. Oh no, he's got out. But a few people have made that kind of mistake down there. That is really catching people out. That particular section.
Tricky call.
Yeah, turn 5. Even though we question the existence of turns 2 and 4. 4 we can just about understand. 2 doesn't exist as far as we're concerned, but it is on our maps. So we will endeavour to kind of work around them. Look at that! Look how close. Go on.
Never mind. I may have done an idiot.
What did you do?
I had the iRacing in-game overlay up as well, and I could see Luis de la Sierra at the bottom of the screen, and then saw the 55.9 from Tim Delisle. I was like, oh my god! Oh wait, no.
Wow. Yeah, I'm sure he'd have enjoyed that if that was the case.
I'm sure, yes.
28 drivers, so we've had a late joiner come to us. Seeing Tim Delisle come around the last. Whoa, that's a long way out. As legal, you are allowed to use that, but he does not. He doesn't choose to complete the lap, and that is your lots. Qualifying is done. Let's bring up the grid then. So Tim Delisle takes the pole spot, the only man into the 55s in the qualifying session. Then it is Hermann, Barton, Reed, Sorokin, Miles, Holstein, Oskamp all the way down there in 8th. Considering he was right at the sharp end during practice, that is very surprising. Then in Tessier, Tofts, Ryan, Morris, Imre, Cortese, Heumann, Barb, Martinson, Dove, Lindstrom, Butelar, Varani, Pierce, Volonais, Waldo, Santana, Forte, Sierra, and Domino round out our drivers.
Yeah, and we've just got 3 drivers just outside that 2.5 second mark, but it's broadly 2.5 seconds. For Rene, that must be pretty mean. I suspect either the track changed or he just couldn't hook the lap together. iRacing now has dynamic clouds and dynamic weather, so the track can constantly change. Same for everybody, but if you've been used to certain conditions, or the wind changing or something like that, it can completely throw you.
I mean, we talked about this before, where you're used to seeing like a shadow in a very set spot and knowing it'll never move. And that sort of muscle memory stays with you, doesn't it? And that's been the case in iRacing for a long time. But now no longer the case. So, old habits are difficult to get rid of. I was just waiting for the last few drivers to grid up, and then we will get our race underway. Standing start, as you can see, as they are on the... It is standing start, isn't it? There's no pace car out there. Nope.
You want to be glad this is this one's standing start. This track is an old track, so it's a full lap if we get a full rolling lap.
Nice. So, yep, I was waiting for the last of our drivers to get on board. I think it's just Nick Domino. Oh, that's a jump start from somebody. Oh, no, we're away. That was an awkward start then from, I think it was Alexis Sirotkin. But here we go then as they stream on towards turn 1. Oh, lots of jostling going on. You can see Tim Delisle doing what he can to keep hold of that lead. And is that Luke Barton that's shot through, I think, is it? Or... No, that is... No, the numbers are all right. That is indeed Luke Barton that shot through into the lead. Getting the inside line on Tim Delisle. Phil Reed up to 3rd then. Lots of jostling going on. Phil Reed side by side. That's Herman that is on his outside. It's trying to stay right with him, but he's going to have the outside line heading into that next left-hander. Holstein is up to 5th. Rene Osterkamp has come up into 6th position. Looks like everybody is still on the road. Here has been a bit of a trouble spot for a lot of drivers. Oh, someone's wandered very wide off the road there. I think it's Morgan Valanese. There's been trouble. Mark Forte has lost a big chunk of car. So there has been an incident back there. But at the front, Luke Barton and Tim Delisle lead the way.
Yeah, what a tremendous start. The only incident we had was that little issue coming down into turn 5. It looked like Mark just locked the brakes and it speared into the wall. But what a great start from Luke, and I will not be appreciating that one bit. Rene Osterkamp's already up to 2 places into 6th place. So he's already trying to salvage something, and Phil Reed's already gained 1 on... What's that?
Herman's down again. That's Holstein that's following him. Oh, that's Barton and Delisle side by side. Oh! Bit of a lock up there. They managed to keep out of each other's side, but oh no, that's someone's fault. It's Herman.
Stefan Herman.
Oh no, it's because the field is so heavy. Look at everybody streaming past. He started 2nd. He's now down to 14th. He's just about able to slot back in. There he is. And whoa, wow, that's someone exceedingly wide on the grass. Trying to see who there was. Varani, perhaps. That's a very alternate line. Several people coming in.
For the lead going on here.
And there it is as Barton and Delisle. Phil Reed in hot pursuit as well. That's the view from Phil Reed's nose as he nearly slams into the back of Luke Barton. Just slows that one down. Holstein is right with him as well. Great 4-way battle going on for the lead. Then a bit of a gap. Oh, Holstein's locked up. He got in a bit hot into turn 3. But now Rene Osterkamp up another position from... So Stefan Herman's problems he's had now. There goes Rene Osterkamp coming on the outside of Holstein. There's Barton and Delisle again for the lead. That's Barton on the outside trying to hang on. And he's staying right there. He wants to try and stay committed to that move. Tim Delisle's going to have... Conor Ryan is in trouble. Oh, he's had to reverse to get out of the way.
The leaders, they've crashed.
Oh, no.
Tim Delisle and Luke Barton, they collided.
Have a look at that. What happened? Oh, big moment there. There's a hit and lag moment, and that's both of them in the wall. Oh, no. Rene Osterkamp now up into the lead. Holstein 2, Phil Reed 3. So Phil Reed got kind of probably put off of that slide. He's now behind Holstein. Oh, my goodness. What a huge swap around.
Yeah, it was, unfortunately, it was a little bit wide for Luke, and you have to give a little bit more room, and unfortunately it was netcode, which is basically another word for lag, Pacific Dry Racing. It was a massive netcode collision, but Tim does race from Australia or New Zealand. You have to give drivers from there a little bit more room, just because the connection isn't quite so stable. Heartbreaking for those two drivers, but for René Oosterkamp, it's a dream come true.
Yes.
They are starting 3 laps in, and he's gone from 8th to 1st.
Very nicely done then. His main championship rival Phil Reed only 2 cars back. Holstein is putting the pressure on. Our multiple GTE champion is right up there at the sharp end. And then Tessier is not far behind either. So he's got a good view of the battle ahead. Van Hooyman and Gio Cortese have swapped position. And say Cortese, who was doing pretty well in the practice leading up to this session, into this race. He didn't start too well, but he's getting into his stride now. We're seeing what's happened to Alexander Waldo. Oh, that's a long way off. That's what on earth happened to you? Oh,
someone else off behind him is Jordan Pierce.
Oh no, that wasn't Waldo. That was Waldo avoiding an accident. Someone very, very sideways, and
Jordan Pierce.
Jordan Pierce. Oh, Sarah Dove, what's happened to you? Some of these car colours on my screen are incorrect. That is because I forgot to fire up trading paints before the race. I apologise for that. I will get that fixed for the sprint race. Otherwise everyone will appear white if I try and do it now. René Oosterkamp getting himself a bit of a gap now in between himself and Holstein. Holstein under all kinds of pressure from Phil Reed. That's the view from car 44 as he chases on down through the carousel now into the kink. Absolutely flat through these sections. Still got quite a bit of racing to do in this. Oh, look at this. Here comes Reed. What a great amount of pace from car 44. Now the outside for... Well, the inside for Canada Corner and the outside for the Kettle Bottoms, and that is the move done. That is second for Phil Reed. Nice clean manoeuvre there. And Cortese's actually gained another one. Cortese up to 6th now from as he's overtaken Loic Bar behind. Alain Tessier is falling a little bit off this particular battle. But that's the battle that Cortese, Barb and Hooyman are in. That's the battle for 6th position that Gio Cortese has. Oh, there's a spin. Tofts, I think. Yeah, Jacob Tofts.
Jacob Tofts has come around. I was just about to point out this battle. It's now got Knut Martinson leading it. The Sarah Dove, Evan Imre all scrapping. They've just lost a little bit more time for the cars ahead of them, though. Oh, that was very close from Evan falling out the back from behind Sarah Dove's car.
Yeah, that was close. I saw that. But that's. I think Sarah Dove let that one go as Evan Imre then jumps up into 10th position behind his teammate Phil Reed and Christoph Holstein. And they have passed each other again. Holstein back up into 2nd place after turn 3 on the run down to 5.
Phil ran wide. He ran wide coming out of turn 3. Turn 3. Which let Chris go straight back past. And all that is just letting René run away out front.
Yeah. You reluctantly called that turn 3, didn't you?
Yes, it pains me every single time.
I know your OCD must be going utterly mad at this stage. We've lost 3, unfortunately. Barton, Delisle, we saw in that big incident. Mark Forte had that big crash on the opening lap. 3 other cars have been through the pits I can see. Marcel Myers, Alexei Sorokin and Daniel Morris have been through the pits. So De La Sierra's had an incident. So he's just recovering from that.
I think Alexei might have got a jump start.
We did see someone.
Someone got a jump start, so I think one of those might be a penalty.
De La Sierra is in the pits. His day is done. We just saw him having a bit of an incident. Go on.
I cut Phil Reed and just saw him have a bit of a wobble. So he managed to save it, but I thought he was going to die.
But Holstein once again behind Phil Reed, so the podium battle continues. That's allowing René Oosterkamp to give himself a bit of distance. Just saw him go out of the shot. Alain Tessier is staying right there as well. He's about a second behind this. Is Holstein going to make a move coming into turn 1 on board with car number 9? And no, he opts not to make that one. He's keeping the pressure on. He's already seen Phil wander a little bit too wide, particularly coming through here, turn 3. Like that, Phil did exactly the same again, but probably not so disastrously. But here comes Christoph Holstein. The straight's long enough for him to capitalise, and Phil will be frustrated with that. And there goes Holstein again. He's going to have the inside line for turn 5. And once again, Christoph Holstein back up into second position.
Yeah, it's this almost like there's a drafting technique of using each other on the straights to gain time, but I don't think that's what these two are doing. It's much to Osterkamp's pleasure.
Yes.
Watching in the mirrors, I'm sure he's enjoying this. We've got fighting up and down the field, by the way. Alexander Walder's in a three-way fight with Jacob Tofts and Luca Verani for 16th, 17th and 18th places. Waldo just having a little bit of an edge on those two at the minute. We've got a train behind David Santana for 12th.
There he is. That's got Erka Lindstrom, Connor Ryan and David Buteler in it. And actually Alexander Walder's only 1.2 off the back of that. So that could potentially be quite a big train. What's happened to Tofts? Side by side, coming through the carousel. That's pretty brave. Luca Verani has just nosed ahead in the car.
Side by side through the kink is even braver.
And
still side by side going down towards Canada Corner.
Oh, and that was Connor Ryan and Erka Lindstrom doing the same thing slightly further up the road as Jacob Tofts wins out on that one, and Connor Ryan won that particular battle between him and Erka Lindstrom. Phil Reed, here we go again, slipstream on the start finish straight. It's a big old straight, that one. And once again, Phil Reed back up into second. You get the feeling this is going to last a while. I hope so.
I mean, here's the catch. Technically, Chris gained a 10th on René Osterkamp last lap. And Phil's fallen off the road big time.
Oh, wow. Yes, he has. That corner has caught him at every lap so far. And we saw a few people struggle very much with that turn 3. And he's absolutely thrown it off the road. Now down to 5th. That's Tessier and Herman through. Go on.
He got put wheel on the grass on entry. And grass isn't all too grippy.
Whoa, look at this. That's Cortese, Barb and Heumann very close together coming down towards turn 5. Who's going to win out on that one? It's Cortese. He's managed to get through on the pair of them. Barb and Heumann still scrapping for the remaining positions. Who's going to come out on top? Loic Barb manages to keep Tom van Heumann behind. But again, where we were looking at Phil Reed and Christoph Holstein, now looking at these pair of three-way battles. Just behind that, there's Knut Martinsen, Evan Imre and Sarah Dove in that battle for 9th place. And behind them is the train that was behind David Santana. There he is, broken a little bit away from Connor Ryan. It's got Erka Lindstrom for company. Then it is Alexander Waldo in that three-way battle with Tofts and Verani. The field behind are fairly spread out. But yeah, absolutely fantastic fighting going on.
Absolutely, it's great to see, but this track does lend to it. There's plenty of long straights, and even the straights that have corners are pretty much flat out. Like, if you're flat through the carousel and the king all the way down to Canada Corner, you can gain an immense amount of speed. Jacob Tofts going for a move around the outside of Alexander Waldo at Canada Corner. Not going to quite work it, a little too wide dip to wheel in the gravel, which gave Waldo the advantage, but they're still going side by side through turn 13. That's brave. Right, falling off the road behind them.
Valanet's big spin coming into that very same section through Bill Mitchell Bend.
Sorry, I watched Waldo go incredibly defensive on Luca Verani out of the final corner. I was like, what? He's going to run him off the road. They both pit.
Oh, right.
I don't know whether Verani wanted to pit it, but he was going in if he was saying that side of Waldo. That was very close.
The lesser of two evils as they come into the pits. And here we have, that's Cortese and Loic Barb still battling for 6th position. Then behind, four-way battle, Heumann, Martinsen, Dove and Evan Imre. And that is Sarah Dove losing that spot to Evan Imre. As I see change of position, but that's because people are in the pits. So that is for why. But now with Martinsen, Imre and Dove catching the back, or getting very close to the back of Heumann, that battle has gained quite... Whoa! That's Cortese getting it all locked up coming into turn 8. Very nearly making Loic Barb slamming to the back. But no contact just yet. Let's see how's Phil Reed doing after that big moment he had. He's closing back in on Stefan Herman. And last time around, he lost a few. Well, last time around was his big off. So, but he does look like he's closed back on that particular battle. That's Herman and Tessier you can see in that particular battle. But up front, René Scamp having a, once again, a fairly comfortable time.
Absolutely, he's fastest lap of the race was a 55.9, and if he'd done that in qualifying, he'd have been on the front row.
He would, yes. The irony.
So clearly he's favouring these race conditions far more than he did in qualifying. Perhaps leaning more to the idea that he just didn't quite get qualifying hooked up. Yeah, he's enjoying a pretty comfortable lead out now.
Oh, Phil Reed! Oh, he's in the pits.
He's in the pits, don't worry, he's in the pits. They do have to make a mandatory stop, so he may be taking this time to get it done, get it over with, have a mental reset. The start of the race hasn't been kind to him. Because it's the start of the race, we're 15 minutes in. 20 minutes in, sorry. I can math. So yeah, he's clearly trying to get out of whatever he was in before. Oh, Stefan Herman, by the way, very close to Alain Tessier.
Yeah,
we can have a loop in the inside. No,
I thought better of that one. Interesting, we just saw Conor Ryan have really gained on Santana, but he backed out of that. Although this is probably why he was looking to use this straight heading down to turn 5 as his opportunity, as he backed out of it coming into turn 1. But that's Conor Ryan just 1 or 2 wide, so he's undone his efforts there. And Malcolm Lynchton in the background. Where's Phil Reed reappear? He's reappeared in 17th position. He's the lead.
With a bit of track time and track in front of him as well. So.
And he's the lead car that's pitted, so he's got an opportunity now to really get the hammer down and just focus on hitting those marks. And Tessier and Herman. Tessier gained 3/10 on. Herman gained 3/10 on Tessier last time around. So he's looking to shape up a move. He's gaining it. It's not a great place to gain on someone coming through there. They come through Canada Corner now. Now he's going to want to get on with it. Through Thunder Valley, through Bill Mitchell Bend. And the really awkward turn 14 up ahead. That's Christoph Holstein. What's happened to Cortese? What's happened to you? Suddenly saw you descend. Oh, that was a weird moment. Oh, he's bounced off the wall. That was a very strange moment from Gio Cortese, but that's going to really ruin his race, unfortunately. And Tessier and Herman side by side coming down the start finish straight, and that is the position 2. Oh wow, that was close. That was nearly Tessier's nose.
That's unfortunate. Who's that behind him? Who's that behind? Eric Lindstrom trying to pit, and he got Cortese with a damaged car in front. There's nothing Cortese can do other than do what he can. But that definitely cost Eric Lindstrom a little bit of time.
Is Alain Tessier going to shape up for a move coming into turn 5? No, again he's backed out of that. And Herman defended that inside line, made it clear, I am shutting this door, you're not coming through. Knut Martensen is now on the back of Tom van Hooyman, and Loic Barb's not far ahead. Not too far ahead, rather. And there he goes, Knut Martensen on the inside of 5. And given the racing room, doesn't complete the move there in the background. Evan Imre and Sarah Dove have been battling for a while. So
yeah, and then look at the time it's cost them to Knut. They were right with him, and now they're 2 seconds back. That's the time the battling can cost you.
Yeah, absolutely. On board with Knut Martensen, coming through turn 8, down towards the carousel now. Oh, that's quite a wide line for Hooyman, but then he wants to try and cut back to that apex point. You heard Martensen lift off a little bit there. He went for a much narrower line through the carousel, both fairly valid lines, but again, it's places like that, especially when the track is so hot, is really going to be very testing on the outside tyres. So I doubt they're going to be kind of pushing it too hard for too many laps. Oh, that's very wide wide for Hooyman. How is Knut? He's backed up a little bit coming through Bill Mitchell Bend. He comes trying to dive with the inside of 14. No, he knows how to get the job done. Is Martensen. He's going to try and make a move surely into turn 1. Get into the slipstream then as they come up and over the crest. On the nose.
Yeah, you're going to want to wait for it. You want to wait for the straight. It's much better than trying to go for a move into the final corner.
And there he goes. We've seen that move done a few times this evening, as that is 6th position to Knut Martensen. Can he keep it on the road? Yes, he can, but what's happened to Conor Ryan and David Santana? Whoa, coming into the same corner. as Santana moves up into 10th position ahead of car 43 Conor Ryan. Will Van Hooyman have another crack at Knut Madsen along this straight? There he goes. Knut Madsen defending the inside line. Who's got the bigger stones? Who's going to be later on the brakes? Knut on the inside. Hooyman on the outside. One's a little bit wide, but that's absolutely fine. Now up over the crest for turn 6. And Knut holds on to it. Very nicely defended. Great attack by Hooyman, but that's bringing Eben Imre and Sarah Dunn back in.
Absolutely. And he's on there side by side. They're slow. Oh, Conor Ryan, talking of going slow, was capitalised a little bit on David Santana, who ran a little wide out of turn 6. Yeah, battling looks great, but it's not fast.
No.
But yeah, Knut worked for that. Now he's got about a few corners to try and build enough of a gap to get Hooyman out of slipstream, and that's the challenge here today. Because, like we said, the straights are so long, and you can easily sit in slipstream and pass and repass and pass, but it costs you time. So you only get a couple of corners. You get from sort of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nearly started singing the Steps song then. And then you've got to make the gap, and if you can't, they're going to be right back on you.
Conor Ryan keeping the pressure on Santana for 10th position. He's only 3/10 behind. Again, he's going to look for that opportunity down that start finish straight, I would imagine. Van Hooyman is trying to slipstream on Knut Martinsen. That's the view back from car number 20. Here comes Hooyman. Is he going to make a dive on the inside of 1? No, he backs off. He's going to wait for the next straight. He was very close to the corner, so probably the better move to do. There they come. Yeah. That's on the way down through turns 2 and 3, even though turn 2 is non-existent. There's 3 now. This is the opportunity Van Hooyman's going to want to take. He's a little bit far back, but he's in the slipstream now. The straight is fairly long.
Here he comes.
Knut's nailed to the defensive line, and no, he's gone back to the racing line. No, Van Hooyman wasn't close enough.
It's interesting. Although Knut then complies with a pretty poor exit out of turn 5, and allows Hooyman straight back into it. Yeah, you've got to be so perfect to get these gaps here, and we saw how close it was in qualifying as well. So small margins. So trying to get the gap is proving a challenge.
So the carousel once again. Our leader René Oskamp leads by 4.3 seconds over Christoph Holstein. Herman is 2.5 behind him. Then 1.6 to Tessier. So they're all kind of relatively spaced out. Tessier can at least kind of see Herman, but is not in a position to challenge. Then 8.6 to Loic Barb. And another 2 back to this particular battle as Van Hooyman keeping the pressure on Knut, and Knut wanted it. That's exactly what Van Hooyman did. Afforded Knut Martinsen 6th in the first place. Van Hooyman, he's opted to stay behind at the moment, so again he's playing the longer game. This of course is the longer of the 2 races, so you've got time to do it. And Knut's in. So, well, there went Van Hooyman slipstream.
Evan and Sourdough following them in as well.
Indeed, so both AOR yellow cars coming in at the same time, along with Sarah. Anyone else wanted to come in? That's Conor Ryan and David Santana. Is Conor Ryan going to make a move this time? No. Again, that's generally what people are doing. No one fancies a move onto turn 1. It's not a particularly big braking zone in these cars, so I can perfectly understand that. Again, he's just keeping himself very, very known in Santana's mirrors. Now through onto this straight. This is where he wants to get the momentum. He's done a cracking exit. That's Conor Ryan. Santana's stayed right at the defensive line. He's going to force Ryan around the long way, but that's a big old straight that he's got. Can Conor Ryan get that move done before the braking zone? I don't think he can. He's backed off of that one, I think. He wants to slot back behind David Santana. He didn't fancy doing the 2 wide through turn 5. So Conor Ryan still has it all to do.
Absolutely, and just to point out as well, we've got some kind of interesting news here. Someone we failed to notice early on. Daniel J. Morris has completed his pit stop and is ahead of Knut Martinsen and Alexei Sorokin. He's second of the lead cars. He's only 5 seconds behind Phil Reed. He has an amazing opening.
Yeah,
yeah, he's done very well. Pitted on lap 2 from what I can tell, as did Alexis Sorokin as well. So those two are doing really well, and they've just thrown themselves into a fight that they probably weren't ready for.
Indeed, well, there coming through the shot is Morris, and there is Alexis Sorokin trying to keep up by 1.5 seconds between those two. A battle for 11th position. What's happened to Holstein? No, Holstein is in along with Stefan Herman. So
and Mr. Osterkamp, race leader in as well.
Yeah, that gives Alain Tessier the lead for now. He'll be quite happy with that, I'm sure. If it's always nice to lead, even if it's been given to you. It's still nice to be out there.
It is indeed. And Tessier and Barb both staying out, both for Cube Racing Simulator. I'm sure that's not a team play of getting screen time of leading 1-2. Yeah, where's Phil Reed going to come out in all of this then?
Well, there is Osterkamp.
Van Hooyman still in the pit, so he's got past Hooyman. He's going to be just behind Stefan Herman, so he's net full. Well, he is full. Well, yeah. But he's got a couple of seconds now to get back on the back of Herman. And only 15 minutes in which to do that.
It's going to equate to around about 8.5 laps-ish for Phil Reed to continue what has essentially become a recovery drive for him. Alain Tessier now leads. Knut Martensen still on the back of Tom van Hooyman. Less than 2
turns. That battle didn't change.
No, very much not. Here comes Martensen again. He's going to have the inside line for turn 5. And again, he's got that move done before they get to the braking zone. That's afforded Knut a little bit more towards the racing line. And yeah, Van Hooyman knew that one was done. Tried not to defend an impossible move. Go on.
I'll tell you who has lost some time through the pit lane, and that is Evan Imre. He's lost about 5 seconds compared to Sarah Dove, who he was battling so hard. The pit stop alone was 7 seconds slower. So I wonder whether he's had a front wing change or something like that. Or some offshore repairs.
Oh dear, Marcel Mars having some lag problems there. As we just saw him blinking in and out of existence.
Yes, you'll be glad to know, audience, that iRacing have patched, and hopefully our lag issues will be hopefully at an end, and any lag you see will be driver specific and not to the spectator, to us watching.
Santana is in. So he was towards the sharper end before the he was indeed up in he's back in 6th position, I should say. He was around about 3rd or so before he came in.
Have a look at right, they get 15 incidents for this race, and most people are running pretty low. Jordan Pearce needs to be careful. He run 21st place. He's on 13. We've lost one with Luca Vrani. He's out due to that. Everybody. Oh wait. Oh yeah, we saw what happened. Yeah, I was briefly confused.
Oops! There goes Sorokin. Happened to be a camera on him as well, as he's dropped that exactly where Phil Reed had trouble. Over there in turn 3. And yeah, that's dropped him all the way down to 14th. Oh dear, what a shame for Alexis Sorokin. And there is Martensen and Van Hooyman yet again. And Van Hooyman's back up ahead. That's 9th position, beg your pardon, to Van Hooyman. That right who's that right behind that? Oh, it was Jordan Pearce, he's allowed down.
Yes. The thing with the Van Hooyman and Martensen battle, I think both of them have realised by now they're not going to get away from the other one. Yeah. So you then have to start, it's kind of like oval tactics of when do I make my move and stick with it.
Yeah.
Because it's like there's points to I want to be second coming onto the final lap because I don't want to be passed. I want to be able to be passing people. So I wonder if those sort of tactics have started playing in their head. And it's just worth pointing out, this holds the record for the closest finish in AOR iRacing leagues. And it was all the way back in Season 3 of Pro Mazda, which was the very first leagues we ran on iRacing, many years ago. And in the winner was Jamie Fluke, the runner-up was Justin Brunner, and the winning margin was 0.000. That's what it was classified as. Yeah, it was side by side at the line. So yeah, it can be a very tight finish here. And Canute, I'm pretty sure, was around when that happened, so maybe he's aware.
Oh, this could get interesting. Sorry, Stevie. That's Jacob Toft getting right in front of Conor Ryan and Alexis Sirotkin and getting split the pair of them. They were side by side pretty much all the way down the start finish straight. Jacob Toft comes out after his pit stop and splits them. Oh, that could have got rather nasty. Thankfully, they realised there was a car emerging from the pits. But that's given Conor Ryan a bit of a run. As that's Sirotkin and Toft now side by side. Jacob wanted to get back into the rhythm and start to make up some time, but he's got a Sirotkin in the way.
That's the ultimate panic from Sirotkin. That is the last thing he needed to see right there, because Conor Ryan is out there on the racing line like, I don't need to back out. He's not in my way.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's given Conor Ryan a good 7
Oh no, Sarah Dove has had an issue.
What's happened to Sarah Dove? Oh!
Like she's stunned coming out of turn 8.
Yeah.
Unwilling to take it. Yes. Yep, around it goes.
Oh! A few people having to... Well, that was indeed the Conor Ryan battle that we were just looking at. Sarah Dove now joins the back of it. And what a shame. It's... I mean, she's still up a few positions from her start, but she was battling pretty well further up the field.
Absolutely. She's having a bit of a scrap with Evan Imre. Sarah and Jacob Toft's very close. Very close. Coming out of turn 12. And they're still close going into turn 13. You don't really want to be...
Who on earth is that? That's Conor Ryan.
That is Conor Ryan.
What on earth happened to you? He was just beginning to break away. Oh, he's over... Yeah. That's not the first time we've seen that. Oh, yeah, he's staring at the wall saying, please grip, as he's now finding himself behind Davy Butler, and that's Toft and Sarah Dove side by side coming down into turn 1. Toft still having lag. Sarah Dove gets the inside line to take 13th place. Marcel Miles is now on the back of Evan Imre. So that's a battle for 10th position. Most people have spread out, but we've still got lots of battling to sort out. Less than, just over 9 minutes to sort it.
Absolutely, and we've still got the top 2 still yet to pit. Alain Tessier and Luke Bob still running out. 12 seconds separate them, and about 13 seconds back from Bob to Ronnie Osterkamp. So they're an extra factor, but by doing what they're doing, they're avoiding all of the battles.
Oh my goodness, look at this scrap going on. That's Dove and Tofts having their scrap, as we saw, with Butler and Ryan having theirs, all scrapping for the same bit of tarmac. And then actually about 4 seconds further back is Santana and Lindstrom battling for 17th as well. Marcel Myers has been having a lot of lag. He's been upsetting my numbers a little bit, but he was ahead of Evan Imre. Evan has managed to overtake car 72 as they continue, and I'm getting some screen freezing going on. That's not helpful. Tessier has come in, and Loic Barb has taken over the lead for now. But I would imagine he'll be in pretty soon. 5 laps remain here at the feature race of Road America.
Yeah, we've got that tremendous scrap behind Sarah Doves is all bunching up now. Got Jacob Toft, David Butler and Conor Ryan all there, although... it was just like with Jacob Toft there. Yeah. So yeah, this is all going to bunch up and they're all going to start scrapping. And like I say, with only a few laps remaining now, so they need to get this sorted quickly. If you want to, the thing is, if you're at the back of the train, you want to get through it quickly. You need to be efficient with how you make your moves. And look at this, the moment Conor Ryan pulls out the slipstream, because Butler's still getting off tops, he's dropping back. Yeah. This is not what Conor Ryan wants at all.
Alain Tessier comes out in 6th position, only 1.5 seconds behind Phil Reed. So that's not a bad effort at all. Starting 9th, up a few positions from... Oh, that's Butler! Butler's lost that one at turn 3 rather. And now I'm doing it now. So yeah, quite a few people have been caught out by that one.
Very easy to do. It's a tricky corner, but it's such an important corner because it carries you all the way down the straight.
Oh, this battle is still not resolved. Canute Martensen and Tom Van Hooyman battle for 8th place now. as they stream on down towards turn 8, coming into the carousel. Only 5 racing laps remain. Loic Barb is leading, but he must pit or be disqualified. I think he's the only runner left that hasn't.
He's coming in.
And he comes.
It's a tricky. It's an interesting pit entrance here because it's uphill, so you've got and it's also a blind crest. So the limit can come up very quickly. It's very easy to get that one wrong.
I can imagine. So René Oosterkamp takes over the lead of the race and will have that by quite a comfortable margin over Christoph Holstein. There he is, about 5.5 seconds between the two. Then Herman in 3, as you can see, and then coming over the crest is Phil Reed, 3.3 behind Herman, followed by Tessier. So those 5 that were in the early battles early on kind of reunited, but they're quite spread out comparatively speaking, with only 4 laps on the board left. It's not likely that they're going to be involved in any particular battling going on. That's Loic Barb that's come out in 7th position. He's up from 16th, so a nice race for him. What's going on with Jacob Toft? Very close to the back of Sarah Dove, coming into turn 1, but doesn't make the move at the moment. Alexei Sorokin is about a second ahead of these two. And then it is a second back to Conor Ryan in the black and red car behind. The black and red on my screen, I know he shouldn't be, but like I say, I forgot to start trading baits at the beginning of the race. So we'll sort out in time for the sprint race later on. I'm still keeping an eye on Van Hooyman and Martinson. They've been locked in that battle for most of the race, and it's at best has gotten to about 7 tenths, 8 tenths at most between those two. So
yeah, this is the biggest gap they've had for a while.
Loic Barb is not far ahead, so if Loic has a problem, he's going to get right involved in this scrap as well. So
this could also, if Luke is going off the idea of be the predator, not the prey, for the final lap. If they catch Loic and Loic then gives slipstream to Van Hooyman, that completely messes up Knut's plans.
Yeah, very much so.
You know, we saw with Conor Ryan how he pulled out of the slipstream on the main straight to get past Jacob Toft because Jacob had put slipstream in front of him. As soon as Conor pulled out, he lost speed. So it's an extra dynamic when there's 3 of you racing here.
Speaking of, there is Conor Ryan staring at the back of Jacob Toft, who in turn is staring at the tail of Sarah Dove. And then Alexis Sorokin not too far ahead. It must be so disconcerting when you're trying to chase a vanishing car. And oh no, that's a bit of lag. I thought something had happened to Oosterkamp then, because suddenly Holstein was coming up in first. But no, he's fine. Although he's lagging a little bit, is Mr. Oosterkamp, but
he is.
He's fine.
Just a point as well on. Oh, hang on. Jacob Toft's up the inside, going into turn 1 of Sarah Dove. Conor Ryan with the perfect view of this 2 in front of him. If anything comes off. No, Jacob seems to have made that move, but he's going to be now he's going to be sharing the slipstream going down towards turn 5. Nearly said 3, meant 5. Just an interesting point on lagging cars. When you disappear off track, your car stops generating slipstream, you stop benefiting from slipstream. So from anyone behind, it's quite annoying.
Conor Ryan alongside Sarah Dove. Sarah could be boxed in here. Is he going to dive on the inside of 5? Nope. Slots in behind Jacob Toft. Here comes Conor Ryan again. He wants turn 6. He's going to dive in the inside on the crest. It's brave to do, but he's got the move done. But Sarah Dove still alongside him on the inside for 7. Oh, brilliant driving by the pair of them. Now the next inside line is going to go to Conor. He's slipped behind. So
that was very opportunistic by Conor at turn 5. He was let those 2 ahead have the scrap, and then just went immediately for the switchback. And it nearly worked, but Sarah got a better exit out of turn 6. Managed to take that inside line for 7, and that's where it gets a bit quicker. So you don't really want to be side by side. Although he's looking to have another go. He was very close on the exit of the kink. He's side by side with them now, going down towards Canada curve. Canada corners, Eric. He's going to be on the inside. He might know. Backs out again.
He wants to make the right move. He doesn't want to take anybody off with him. Very respectful driving from Conor Ryan. But it is costing him time, and time is what he does not have. Just 2 racing laps to go. Still battling going on. There is Van Hooyman and Martinson again. Is Canoe going to have the inside line for turn 1? I don't think he will. What's happened to Valanese? He's lagged. That's all that's happened to him. Canoe Martinson, he's less than 3 tenths, or he's about 3 tenths rather behind Van Hooyman at the moment. He wants that decent exit from here. Turn 3, there he goes. Can he get the move done? Then you've got Imre not too far behind. Oh, Conor Ryan still keeping the pressure on Saradov as well, and trying to keep an eye on so many different battles at the same time, as we're pretty much used to this every week, but it gets no easier. And no, Martinson not close enough to make a move into turn 5. But Conor Ryan stays absolutely nailed to the back of Saradov, and he's gone for the inside line this time. Saradov sticks to the racing line, still side by side, and that was so close. Nearly rear wing met, front wing nearly met rear wheel there. But that is 14th to Conor Ryan.
No, that was an amazing piece of driving from both of them. But I don't think it's over yet. There's still another lap of exceptional slipstream to go on.
Waldo Valanese, can't get the name right. Oh, Jacob Thompson spun. He spun down there at turn 8. We've happened quite a few times. That's dropped him right the way down to 17. That's Erkan Lindström just coming past. Alexander Waldo and Morgan Valanese has been involved in that battle. We'll see them go side by side as well. Where is Osterkamp? He's just started our final lap in the feature race. Canute is still nailed to the back of Tom Van Hooyman.
Jacob Toft immediately after that issue has immediately gone on the attack. He's tried to go past Erkan Lindström, but Erkan got a little wide. He tried to almost scare him out of the way. He didn't manage to capitalise, but Jacob right on the rear wing of Erkan Lindström here. He's looking, he had that issue, but he's not going to let that ruin his day.
And Canute remains so close, 2 tenths, not even that at points between the two. Jacob Toft is a similar gap between himself and Lindström. Oh, surely now for Canute Martinson. There he goes. He's had to jump out of the slipstream probably a bit earlier than he would have liked. It's not giving him a lot of momentum. Streaming on down towards turn 5 for the final time in this race. Is it going to give him the momentum? Who's going to be the last of the late breakers? Oh, Canute didn't quite break enough to get the switch back underneath Tom Van Hooyman, but up to turn 6 now. Is that the last opportunity Canute Martinson's going to have? We will see.
No, I think Hooyman's decided he'd rather be in front now. He fought that very hard. He didn't need to. But yeah, Canute's now only got maybe two corners left. He's got turn 12, and then he's got the run to the line. But that's leaving you a bit late.
A little bit, but it's certainly doable. The finish line is roughly halfway down that start-finish straight. But once again, the winner of the Formula 3 of the feature race is going to be number 29. It is René Osterkamp for SimRC. Then it is Christoph Holstein in car 9 to take second, and Stefan Hermann by a very narrow margin over Phil Reed is going to take that last podium position. Then Alain Tessier is going to be 5. Just cut to them as you oohed. I figured it was them. Tom Van Hooyman just hanging on to that 8th position. There's not going to be enough road for Martinson to slip through. He's going to have a go, but that's the line. And that was a gap of 0.06 by the end of that.
That was pretty close. they were scrapping down towards Canada corner, and Canute tried to go on the outside. But there's been some gravel or some dirt kicked up on the track, and he slid wide, and it just gave Tom enough to keep that inside line.
Wow, what great fighting we've had as we have enjoyed for this evening for the feature race. So let's have a look at where we stand results wise. There it is. Osterkamp 1, Holstein 2, Hermann, Reed, Tessier, Morris, Barb, Hooyman, Martinson, Imre, Miles, Sirotkin, Ryan, Dove, Santana, Tofts, Lindström, Butelaar, Waldo, Valanese, Pierce, and then our non-finishers were Varani, Domino, Cortese, Sierra, Delisle, Barton, and Forte.
Yep, we've got, as I said, this is the feature race. So we're going to have a little bit of a break, and then we'll come back, and they'll have a 5-minute qualifying session to get one timed lap. And we debuted that a couple of weeks ago in Lagos, and it produced a pretty chaotic grid. So there's that, and then after race will follow that.
Yeah, absolutely. So this will take a few minutes to do, so do come back to us shortly. We will be back with you as soon as we can.
say when there are no words. Feel a song that's never been heard. How do you know when you hear the call? What do you do when you've done it all? Cannonball, 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 cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use it. You be you and I'll be me, it's just a matter of style. You can't fake it, mile after mile, feeling free. If you got the soul, you can make it. Move 'em out, let 'em roll, from sea to shining sea. Ball, cannonball. What do you do when the mountain is there? How do you answer the challenging dare? And when your back's against the wall, what do you do when you've done it all? Cannonball, cannonball, cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use it. You be you and I'll be me, it's just a matter of style. You can't fake it, mile after mile, feeling free. If you got the soul, you can make it. Move 'em out, let 'em roll, from sea to shining sea. Cannonball. Hey, now cannonball. 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 Woo. Cannonball. you say when there are no words? Feel a song that's never been heard. How do you know when you hear the call? What do you do when you've done it all? Cannonball, cannonball, cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use it. You be you and I'll be me, it's just a matter of style. You can't fake it, mile after mile, feeling free. If you got the soul, you can make it. Move 'em out, let 'em roll, from sea to shining sea. Ball, cannonball. What do you do when the mountain is there? How do you answer the challenging day? And when your back's against the wall, what do you do when you've done it all? Cannonball, cannonball, cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use it. You be you and I'll be me, it's just a matter of style. You can't fake it, mile after mile, feeling free. If you got the soul, you can make it. Move 'em out, let 'em roll, from sea to shining sea. Cannonball. Hey, now cannonball. 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 Cannonball.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, with the one-shot qualifying session for our sprint race. My name is King Kodiak, and I'll be one of your commentators throughout the final sprint, well, throughout the sprint race for the Road America Now, with correct paint schemes on our cars. Apologies for that from the previous round. Right. Returning to my side, hopefully Mr. Stevie, are you back with me?
Hello, indeed, I am.
Marvellous. So then, one-shot qualifying is underway for the sprint race. Just a single lap, no other cars on track that they can see. As you can clearly see, we've lost a few in this transition. I think we're 25 cars now with this. Bit of a shame, but sometimes happens in between sessions.
Yeah, sometimes it can, live stuff happens. Sometimes people forget. Sometimes, you know, you're not supposed to, but sometimes you really don't want to if you've had a bad race in the first one. But our pole man from the last race who was leading for a while, until he had that awful collision, unfortunate collision I should say. Tim Delisle, he's back and he's hoping for a good result, I'm sure.
Yeah, a bit of a shame that a netcode problem denied Tim a strong result, because goodness, it was looking a mighty scrap, but we'll see what our drivers can do for the sprint race. Only a 13 incident limit, I believe, for the sprint race.
Yep.
So they
only 13.
A few people would have been disqualified if they scored the same points they did in the feature race. So they've got to be careful of that, although less time they have to be fighting for.
Absolutely. It's you get a couple less, but you have little over half the distance to go. So there's no excuse really. That's easy for me to say.
That's right on board.
We're going to get.
Let's right on board with Tim Delisle as he has started his time lap. Quite a few people are on their time lap now, but with the pole man from last time out streaming on down towards turn 1. Barely even Flint is going through there. That slight kink there is signified as turn 2. Now, down a couple of gears, we saw a few people spin out here at turn 3 last time around. Now, through that fairly effortlessly for Tim Delisle. Now, under the bridge for turn 4. And this is where we saw Kenny Martinson and Tim Van Hooyman. I keep calling him Tim. Tom Van Hooyman having their battle along the straight. Then into turn 5. And quite a few spins here, using every available inch of track, and that would invalidate his lap. Now through 6, straight through 7, no bother at all, just kisses the apex on the right hand side, and then over to the right for turn 8, where we saw a few spins happen on it. I think it was around here, wasn't it, where Tim and I can't remember who it was he collided with.
Luke Barton.
But yes, Luke Barton, I think it was there at turn 8 where they had that issue, through the carousel without any bother at all. Now into the kink. Just, it doesn't quite catch the apex on the right hand side, but doesn't wander too far over the left anyway. And through the kettle bottoms, as it's referred to as, and then into Canada corner. God, again, this one raced a little deceptive. You think you can take it quicker than you actually can, using all of the available runoff. Then through Thunder Valley into Bill Mitchell Bend. So quite a few cars off-roading in the feature race on that particular section. Now turn 14, again very deceptive, quite bumpy as well, and no bother there for Tim Delisle over the crest. First on the time on the board was René Osterkamp with a 56.4. What can Delisle do?
Oh, wait.
56.3 for Tim Delisle.
Nice. I will point out, I know somebody who won't be getting a time on the board, although he's still driving. It's our second place man from last time. It is Chris Holstein. He is coming down towards Canada corner now, but I saw him. He fell off the road at turn 3.
Oh dear.
Which will have invalidated the lap, so regardless of what this is, unless my eyes deceived me. But I will be very unhappy if that's the case, because I know what my eyes saw.
Lance Tessier in 30. Holstein's still going.
He's still going. He carried on with the lap, but he was very much off the road at turn 2. I didn't get time to finish it.
No, so Holstein.
There we go.
Yeah, Holstein.
1, 2, 3. 6 cars that didn't get times in.
Well, once again, Tim Delisle on the front row. René Osterkamp this time joins him. Tessier, Reed, Herman, Barton, Barb, Martinson, Imre, Ryan, Miles, Lindstrom, Varani, Sirotkin, Santana, Pierce, Toffs, Valanese, Dove, Waldo, Sierra, Cortese, Holstein, Morris, Heumann, oh wow, Tim van Heumann all the way down there, and David Butelaar are the ones that failed to set a lap.
Yeah, it's Daniel J. Morris. I would have picked as my driver for the feature race because he snuck his way into a brilliant 6th place.
He did.
I know it was very, very sneaky. It was very well done, though.
Once again, we wait for our drivers to grid up, and then we will get this sprint race underway. They have a minute, ready or not, to get themselves sorted out. It's going to translate into around about 13 laps for this sprint race, and considering how long it took the field to disperse last time, yeah, this is going to be pretty hectic.
Yeah, and we were very lucky last time. I was going to mention it, but we ran out of time after the crazy qualifying. Turn 1 here is notorious for causing collisions. We were lucky last time, we didn't get anything, but we endeavour to make it 2 in a row, but I will be amazed if we can.
Just waiting for the last couple. It's, there's Phil Reed, just waiting for Jacob Toft to take the field. And we will get this race underway good and proper. 20 seconds, less than that, 15 seconds, ready or not, you'll be forced onto the grid. That should be it, I think.
Yep.
And that's the countdown. They'll get the lights. We can't see them from the spectator standpoint, alas. You'll hear them rev in a minute. And away we go. We are racing here at Road America for the sprint race. Look at that. That's 4th place. That's into a... Look at the line of everybody slipstreaming behind Delisle. That's amazing. Osterkamp looking on the inside coming through turn 1. No such luck there.
Oh dear. We have an issue.
Oh dear, lots of problems further back. Oh yeah, oh yes, that's a lot of issues going on back there, but keeping an eye up front. Look at that stream of people just following Tim Delisle absolutely line astern. Look at that, that's the top, that's pretty much top 7 from Delisle, Osterkamp, Tessier, Reed, Barton, Herman and Barb.
I'm really having a go on Tim Delisle right now. He would lunge at the inside of turn 5, and he's going to have a go again into turn 6. This is where Tim had his incident in the last lap, on the last race, sorry. But he has conceded, it looks like, to René now.
And there, we're looking back from Osterkamp, so that is Delisle. Then you've got Tessier and Reed right with him as well. So lots of squabbling still to sort out. Looks like the top 7 or so are going to start settling into a bit of a rhythm. Let's just have a quick check further down the field. Oh, that's a rear-race Santana. We've already lost Luca Varani. He's gone. So Santana's had trouble. Sirotkin has fallen off the back. Lindstrom, we can see his side-by-side. Lots of side-by-sides going on here. And Delisle, no, I thought he was side-by-side again with Osterkamp. No, not quite. I'm just amazed. Look at that. Look at that snake.
There is racing literally everywhere. It was a relatively clean start. The incident we did have at turn 1 though, it was Alexis Sirotkin. He either locked up and don't know whether he just locked up or just lost it on the straight, but he was off to the inside and on the grass, had no brakes and just piled into the grid, taking out Varani in the immediate process.
Oh dear, but look at that lot. Again, you don't expect the field to spread out too much on the initial laps, and that's got that camera's no good because it goes behind the trees. But it looks like Osterkamp is not wasting any time in trying to build up a bit of momentum for himself, and you need to. Plus, further down the field, there's Holstein. You can say, whoops, that's someone wandering a bit wide on the exit of turn 3. It might have been Valanese. Green car on the right of the shot. Oh, Phil Reed! Oh, no, wow! What has happened to Phil Reed? I heard the bang. Oh! That was a panic move there, as that would have been Tessier that was slow.
No, that's weird. That I want to an onboard camera for that.
That was very strange. It was Lance Tessier that looked like he was a bit slow, or Phil Reed had some kind of technical issue.
That was a technical.
Had to. I mean, it was like he panicked and just threw it too hard over to the left. So
no, that his steering went fully to the left briefly, and he was in the wall immediately. That is the most technical I've ever seen. Unfortunate, he's had a couple of those, but unfortunate for Phil Reed, but great for Rene Osterkamp. Did he take anybody with him when he did that?
No, he managed to avoid the. Well, there was no ensuing carnage from it. Just his own car dismantling itself.
What a gentleman!
Oh, Valanese, he's had a problem. What's happened to him? Oh, there we go. He touched the sand on the outside of Canada corner, and that's backwards into the wall. That's his day done as well.
We've got Stefan Herman making a move on Knut Martinsen on the pitch. We've still got a huge train behind them. Waldo being passed by Gio Cortese. Cortese up from 22nd. He's already up into 16th place. It's going very well for him. Luke Bob putting the pressure on Luke Barton for 4th. Evan Imre and Conor Ryan were very side by side. The Canucks just from wide coming out of turn 3 as well. It's going to let Evan and Conor are going to get both of these. They're both going to get past him.
Yeah, that got a bit interesting because I think Conor Ryan has had absolutely nowhere to go. Whoa, that's close between the AOI Yellows. Very, very close indeed. Imre's the lead of those two cars. Canute is fending off. That's Marcel Miles in the blue car already behind. So just be steady with that. It is Toffs, Lindstrom. Holstein up another position. He's down to 13th. There's 10 he's gained in the last couple of laps. Jordan Pierce and Sarah Duff having their battle. Oh, Conor Ryan. He's wanting a look on the outside of Evan Imre coming through the carousel. Whoa, was that Holstein that was trying to move?
Yeah, Holstein was trying to have a go on Urkel Lindstrom as well. He couldn't quite make it work though.
Oh, look at
have
that.
A significant amount more grip. Evan and Conor still scrapping, going down towards Canada corner. There's Canute and Marcel Miles just behind them fighting as well. And behind them, Urkel and Christoph Holstein are having a scrap.
Whoa, that's so...
Oh no, Chris lost it! He got the move, but he dropped it! Oh, he was having such a good couple of laps. He was up 9-10 places.
Morris and Waldo. Oh my goodness me, it is going wrong for a lot of people. And Pearson, Cortese side by side as they come up over the crest. And that is no.
Oh, that's going to be 3 wide.
Oh, that's Lindstrom, Cortese, and the names keep moving around.
Urkel Lindstrom, Jordan Pierce, and Gio Cortese. And Gio Cortese just got both of them.
Nicely done. And Jordan Pierce nearly losing his nose in the process. Then it is Van Hooyman behind, with Butelant not far behind them. And then it is all those that have been affected by problems. That's pretty much 18th downwards. Morris, Sierra, Holstein, Sorokin, Santana, Reed, I think is gone. Oh, what's going on up front? That's Evan Imre, Jacob Tofts. Whoa, that's Marcel Miles getting involved. Erkin Lindstrom side by side with someone as well. Lost. This is rather what I thought would happen because the field is so... Obviously, everyone in the same car, the field spread is that much narrower. And, with such a shorter race, it's providing the kind of action I thought it would. What an amazing race it's providing for us.
Absolutely. There's scrapping all over the place. We've got a bit of a gap further down, but from the last people that haven't been involved in the incident is Tom Van Hooyman and David Butelant. They're down in 16th and 17th place, separated by less than half a second. Which is, look up front as well, and you've got Alan Tessier and Luke Barton now strapping for... that was very, very far in by Luke Barton. He overcooked that a little. Alan immediately taking that position back. He wasn't going to let Luke get away with that. Herman on the back of Herman on the back of Luke Bob as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's going to be an opportunity for Herman along that back straight. Then Conor Ryan, you just saw in the back of the car.
No! It's kicked off at the final corner. Sorry, and Gio Cortese have had an incident.
Oh no, in the final corner.
Yeah, it looked like Cortese started to wobble, and Sarah didn't have time to react to it.
Oh no! And got kind of smacked into. I'm not sure who it was that Sarah Dove bounced off of.
Lindstrom.
Okay. Oh no! What a shame. Another victim of this race. We lost comparatively few in the first race.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's absolutely mad.
Yeah, but these little issues can happen when the field's this close. Like Bob, going to have a look on Stefan Herman around the outside. I think maybe into turn 5 it's going to be optimistic. Nope, can't quite manage it.
Pierce and Gio Cortese after his issue earlier on is he's now down to 15th position. Lindstrom is with Lindstrom, despite that whack that he received from Sarah Dove's car, is keeping the pressure on Van Hooyman. That is for 12th position.
I think Urka managed to escape without damage.
Well, I was very lucky, very, very lucky. Oh,
Yeah.
It's remarkably darker than it was in the first race, I noticed.
It's just the clouds. It's just the cloud covering the sun. It's actually they have the same weather. They get the weather from the generator from the practice session that they carry over, so the drivers can actually practice in relatively similar conditions. But yeah, it's just cloud coverage. This is why you can't rely on shadows.
Cortese's wandered off the road. Tofts is being overtaken by... Oh no, it's overtaking Gene Martinson, sorry. So Cortese having a bit of a problem. Van Hooyman and Lindstrom side by side. There is Butelar behind them as well. So that's Lindstrom up to 12th. God, crikey, it's difficult to know where to look.
We are halfway through this race, just so you know. It kicks off in these races so quickly, it's very easy to lose track of time. But yeah, out front, René Oscan with a 2.6 second lead over Tim Delisle. He made that move so quickly and so aggressively on lap 1, and it's paying off. Tim does not look like he has the pace in it at the minute. So.
Martinson and Tofts side by side through turn 1, through turn 2. Martinson's hanging on to that one, and Tofts has backed out of it.
And just behind them, Tom Van Hooyman and Urka Lindstrom and David Butelar in a 3-way scrap.
Yeah, that's the view back from car 77. Tom Van Hooyman of Urka Lindstrom keeping the pressure on. Here they come under the bridge. Through 4 and more. He gets close. Taking every bit of slipstream he possibly can. What is Butelar going to do? He stays spectator to that one. Van Hooyman holds on to that one, but runs very deep. Can Butelar come and do anything about it? No. Nope. He's not doing the league ball. That's Lindstrom that's wandered a bit wide. That's going to lose him a bit of momentum. Gives some breathing space to Van Hooyman, but throws Lindstrom right in the clutches of Butelar. Oh, sunshine.
Yeah. You point it out, but that will make a drastic difference to the track temp and therefore the temperature of the tyres, and the amount of grip you have, and you having to adjust to all that on the fly is a whole new thing that iRacing drivers are still kind of getting used to.
Oh, Jordan Pierce is disqualified. He's in the incident limit.
Fast.
That was very fast. It's 5.5 laps. It took us to lose someone to the incident limit.
Thing is, you get 4 for a car contact if you have 2 or 3 little bumps, and you're already at 12. So it can pay pretty hard in these races. Marcel Miles, by the way, catching very closely to Evan Imre. He's looking like he's probably going to have a move into turn 1. Didn't see much of Marcel in the first race. He was having some connection issues, but it looks like he's sorted them out now. He's going to have that move on Evan Imre into turn 1. Evan not really fighting that, I don't think.
No, he let that one go. He's going to have a look on that back straight, I'd have thought. On the back straight, there's several straights in this race, but this
Any straight that isn't the pit straight is the back straight.
Yep, I can go with that. I can go with that way of thinking.
Just to confirm in the chat, John saying he got like 3 car contacts. That's 12 incident points, and that's...
And then it's just one more, and bang, they're gone. Here comes Evan Imre on Marcel Miles. He's looking to attack back into turn 5, but no. He realised he wasn't going to get it done before turn 5, but that's forced Marcel to go a little deep. Here's Evan going to have a look on the inside of 6, but no, not quite. He keeps his car very plain and clear in the mirrors of Miles. Through 7 and into 8 they come. Look how close Evan Imre is keeping his car. Everyone ahead is kind of almost equidistant, although Herman and Tessier are pretty close. That's a battle for 4th. position at the moment, keeping their gap fairly steady. But Evan Imre, he's just in that position where it's very uncomfortable for Marcel Miles. He knows there's an AOI yellow card waiting to strike any given moment. Actually, someone else that's equally close is Luis de la Sierra on the back of Gio Cortese. So cars 55 and 58 having their battle for 15th position. Oh, Tessier, he's lost the position to Herman.
Yeah, Herman managed to get a great run out of the kink and just managed to sweep by going into Canada corner. Although Tessier is going to fight him back, he's going to try and go. That was very close going into the final corner. You don't want to be getting too close there. You need to get a good run coming onto the straight to make it work for you.
And the slip through for Tessier once again. He's not really gaining at the moment. He's only getting slip through himself. Oh no, Tessier's backed off. He's not wanting to make that move into turn 1. He's thinking slightly longer than just that one turn. Marcel Miles has lost a bit. Well, side by side with Evan Imre. Evan coming back up into 9th. Oh, Marcel having to think about a straight counter-attack into turn 1. He thought better of that one.
Lindstrom and Tom Van Hooyman still scrapping it out for 12th place as well. Separated by less than half a second.
I can't find them. Where are they? Oh, I am looking.
12th and 13th.
12th and 13th. I don't know why I clicked on Tom's name and immediately questioned that I was looking in the right place. But no, I was. Indeed. Oh, Marcel Miles and Evan. That's getting very close still. Tessier's got a little bit of a gap between himself and Stefan now. Well, Stefan's got a gap to Alain. It's not much. It's only about 3/10, and there that is. Then you got Loic Barbe that's not too far behind, but René Oskamp has really just gone. He's 3.2 ahead of Tim Delisle. Wow, he's won in the double. Absolutely fair enough.
Fastest lap of the race for René as well, and he's running a pretty significant chunk faster than, well, 6/10 faster than both Tim Delisle and Luke Barton on the last lap.
Wow.
Best of 56.1 compared to 56.5 and 56.6 for Delisle and Barton respectively.
Absolutely superb.
Class of 1.
Again. Yeah,
he didn't get that last week in the Formula 1 3.5.
That's true. That's very true.
He got thoroughly outmatched that week.
Absolutely true. Ooh, that was Lindstrom running a little wide. Comes to Canada corner, but keeps it on the island. Is anybody else running close to the incident limit? Nope, not yet.
Daniel Morris is on 8, but he had that incident with Waldo and Holstein. Just for reference on that, if it wasn't caught, Holstein made the move on, I don't know who it was, but he made the move on, and then Waldo was, oh, go on.
And Lindstrom and Van Hooyman side by side into turn 1. Lindstrom being forced around the outside. No, that one was going to end in disaster if he'd stuck to that, I think. So Tom Van Hooyman. Why is my brain convinced he's a Tim? He's not. He's a Tom.
We've got a Tim and a Tom. It's very confusing.
Oh, Marcel Miles and Evan Imre again. That's battle for 8th. That is Connor Ryan that's not far ahead of them. Side by side. Who's the last of the late breakers? Evan hangs on to that one on the inside of turn 5. Again.
Evan was not letting him through there. He was very committed to breaking later than Marcel there.
We already only have 5 laps left. So as is always the way. Oh, Van Hooyman and Lindstrom through 6. Oh, that's very close. Then again, as literally just pointing out, there's not a lot of time left. Van Hooyman hangs on to 12th, keeping Lindstrom behind. Butelaar is gaining on them as well, so that Tango gets another car joined to the back of it. Where's Imre and Miles? There they are. Most everyone else is fairly spread out. The closest battle further upwards is that one with Barbe and Tessier, but that's nearly a second apart, so there's not going to be too much going on there unless someone falls off the road. Marcel Miles right behind them. Oh, you just saw him jump out from the back of Evan. He's having a look. No, he thinks better than that into Canada corner, but he's forced Evan to go a little deep.
Wide. Yeah, Evan was wide out of 12. He's going to leave him a little bit vulnerable. I don't think there'll be a move into turn 14 unless it's... Oh, that was a dive. That's why I don't drive anymore, because I get scared. You don't really want to be diving on the last corner unless it's the last lap, maybe. It's been very polite so far. I'm waiting for them to start getting a little bit more robust with the defence. So although Evan's going defensive now into turn 1, as opposed to fighting, just letting them through.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the order of the day now. With less than 5 laps left, you've got to hang on to what you can. You've got to scrap for what you can get hold of. So Evan is going to be certainly sharpening the elbows and trying to keep that ever-persistent Marcel Miles behind. Erka Lindstrom still with Tom Van Hooyman. David Butelas fallen off that duo a little bit, but Tofts and Martinson not too far up the road from them, as you can see at the bottom of the shot. Lindstrom staying in the slipstream of Van Hooyman, but not coming off as yet. But yeah, I'm keeping very much an eye on this one with Evan Imre and Marcel Miles. That is not finished yet. Oh, Lindstrom's getting close. Almost in the same bit of track, those two battles. Well, they're near as damn it are. They're just only separated by about 3 seconds.
I'm carefully watching this battle. There's gap between Herman and Barton. Herman's got to get a little bit more to start picking up the slipstream of Luke, and then it'll get a lot easier for him. He's only about a second out, but he's just got to edge that ever slight bit closer. But his best is 3/10 faster. If he can do that again, oh, Luke's run a little bit wide. This might be all he needs.
It will be. So that's a battle for the last podium spot. It's all there for Herman to take if he can get close enough. We will see. Still, Marcel Miles keeping the pressure on Evan Imre. This is certainly a practice for Evan's defensive driving. He's doing a pretty good job of holding on to that 8th position. Erka Lindstrom doing the same, but Tom Van Hooyman behind. And yeah, that's 8 tenths now. So Herman has gained 4 tenths last time around. So Herman is now beginning to put the pressure on Barton for 3rd.
If he can get another 10th, he's going to start getting the benefit from the slipstream, which we've seen how powerful it is here. He might just be on the cusp of it now. One poor exit from Barton here, and he's in. Yeah, Herman's gaining. He's got it. This is not good for Luke. That is a massive dent. He needs to really nail the next few corners to try and get Herman back out of it. Keep him in the dirty air range, but not let him get the slipstream.
Well, he's only got 3.5 laps left to hold on, but we will see, can he do it? So that's another pair that we had to try and keep our eyes on. Look, Bob's not far off the back of Tessier either. Exactly the same gap, or near as damn it, between Herman and Barton as there is Tessier to Barb. So there's another one. There is Imre and Miles again. So that one is still very, very close, with the blue 72 remaining behind the AOR yellow of Evan Imre. Lindstrom is still right with Tom Van Hooyman. There are people in between. There's Jacob Tofts is in that mix somewhere. There he is, but he's 2 seconds behind Knut Martinson. And there he is. He's chasing off after the Marcel Miles Evan Imre battle. He's got 1.6 to close down, and only it's going to be less than 3 laps to do it, because there's Rennie Osterkamp to complete lap number 11.
Yeah, I will say though, Marcella and Evan, who are very close again going in towards the final corner, they are being gained on pretty rapidly based off last lap on Knut Martinson. So they need to be very careful, which will be to Evan's benefit, potentially.
Van Hooyman got Canada Corner all wrong, and that's handed that spot over to Erka Lindstrom. That's 12th. That's gone over to the orange car 98. And oh, that's Evan Imre and Miles. And Marcel Miles side by side. Marcel on the inside of turn 1. Evan again just let them go. And oh, Miles is lagging. So that's why he keeps vanishing. I was thinking, hang on, he only had 3 incident points. So
that's his connection time to play up now. It's not. That's going to be giving Evan some concern.
Just a little bit. Hopefully that will stabilise itself. Well, yeah, that's going utterly bonkers. But yeah, Knut is only a second behind, so he really does stand to get right involved in that battle before the checkered flag falls. There is Herman and Barton. He's managed to just about hold on to 8 tenths of a gap between himself and a potential podium here at Road America. Through the
he's pushing incredibly hard. They both are. I think Luke has a slight edge in that midfield section between turns 5 and 9, which is just giving him the edge. But Herman is now within just under 7 tenths. This could be a danger zone for Barton now.
Could well be. Barb and Tessier
Barb
similar
and
gap
Fame,
there. Yeah.
Stop copying each other.
Oh, it's good that we're on the same cue sheet at least.
Fair.
Evan Imre and Marcel Miles, that battle has not resolved itself either. Canute Martin only 1.1 behind. So if they come together, Canute will stand to gain a couple. But that's René Oosterkamp starting the final lap of this sprint race. There it is, confirmed on the overlay. 3 seconds between himself and the next. Go on.
Herman has definitely closed in now. He's within 4 tenths. This is exactly what Luke Barton didn't want. Herman's probably only going to get 1 or 2 opportunities, 2 if he's lucky. That 3rd place is very much under pressure. Barb as well for Tessier.
Yeah, and it was a bit of a scruffy exit from 3 for Herman. I'm not convinced. No, he's not gaining enough on Barton, but anything can happen. Final lap, the pressure really is on. That closes into within 3 tenths between Herman and Barton now as Marcel Miles and Evan Imre swap position on that same straight. Can the AOR yellow 147 do it into turn 5? Oh, Marcel Miles goes with a lunge. It's forced Evan wide. Evan's going to have a great straight and not going to get out of that corner, but here we go again, side by side through 6. And Evan is nose ahead. He's going to have the inside for 7. Can he do it? Yes, he can. That's Evan Imre up to 8th position. Here comes Canute Martinsen getting involved. Oh, lovely 3-way battle in the dying moments of the race. Canute Martinsen gets up there to help support his teammate and try and put Miles off a little bit. But equally, there's Stefan Herman on the back of... what's happened to Cortese? He's in the pits, so his day's run. Oh, that's getting very close. Herman to Barton. That's a big move. Oh, that was very close.
That was very close, but Barton defended that brilliantly. Super brilliantly. Herman's only going to have a run to the line now or a lunge at the final corner. It's going to be very tough for him though.
And your winner again is a double win for Car 29. It is René Oosterkamp who takes the victory. Tim Delisle from pole will take 2nd. And Luke Barton only just fends off Stefan Herman, Tessier and Luke Barb. That's very close, but that's going to be for Tessier, just about for 5th. Then Connor Ryan 6th. Evan. Oh, Evan just manages to edge out Miles by 1.5 tenths. Then Canute right behind Jacob Tofts, and that's actually that was Gio Cortese coming out of the pits, I think. Oh wow. The Van Hooyman just fends off Erka Lindstrom. That's Butelaar, who was right with that battle. He's finished 17 seconds behind, so it all unravelled for Butelaar in the dying moments. There is De La Sierra coming around the final turn. A bit of a lonely race for him. And then I think everyone else has already crossed the line. Oh, Santana's still going. He's actually been through the pit already. So,
I think Santana was involved in that first lap. There was a casualty of that, I think.
Well, that'll do it. And Daniel Morris is also still running out there, along with Alexei Sirotkin. So they'll be the final ones to cross.
No one finished that with 0 incident.
No, everyone had at least 1 incident point. Quite a few people had only 1, and we did unfortunately lose Jordan Pierce to the dreaded incident limit. It's ever unforgiving. There comes Daniel Morris for 17th position, and Sirotkin is going to round out our field of finishers. Wow. So there it is then. Oosterkamp is confirmed as your winner with Delisle, Barton, Herman, Tessier, Barb, Ryan, Imre, Miles, Martinson, Tofts, Van Hooyman, Lindstrom, Butelaar, Sierra, Santana, Morris, Sirotkin, Cortese, and then our non-finishers were Pierce, Dove, Holstein, Waldo, Reed, Valanese, and Varani.
That was chaotically brilliant.
Wasn't it just? Wasn't it just? Whoo! Wow.
That is a significant advantage now, or maybe. Do you know what?
Is it a championship-winning race or series? For
That's it. Yeah, he's done it. He's just scored maximum point. He already had an 18-point lead going into the race into tonight. It's not possible for Phil Reed to win it, so René Osterkamp has just become champion. Season 1 of the F3 League.
Another championship for Mr. Osterkamp.
Yeah, that's very impressive. It's more impressive to me when it's a new car and everyone's still struggling and everyone's still learning it and still come out on top with a very competitive field like we've seen. And he's had his share of bad luck. Very well done to him.
But amazing drives and amazing consistency as well. That's seen our champion crowned, but no one has given up, even till the dying moments. Bit of a shame for those that fell early on, but that is the nature of the beast. We appreciate the effort that our drivers put in. No one's wanted to make themselves available for interview. That's absolutely fine, not mandatory. It is nice to have a chat with the drivers, but if they want to be left alone to celebrate, then that's absolutely fine. As it is, I need to head off at this moment anyway, so now we're going to wrap this one up. Thank you very much to those that have been with us throughout the stream. A great pleasure to commentate for you guys. Thank you very much to you, Stevie, for keeping me on the straight and narrow. Always a great pleasure, good sir.
Yes, it's always good to talk of these races with you. Just to quickly wrap up then, the final championship race of this series will be in 2 weeks' time at Detroit Belle Isle, a very tricky and bumpy street circuit. I can't wait for that. Next Friday, we have the penultimate round of the Formula Renault 3.5 League at Virginia International Race. Can't wait for that either. And then on Monday, we have round 7 of the GTE League at Daytona, which is going to be brilliant.
Awesome. Thank you very much to our sponsors. Without you guys, AOR would not continue to grow. And we will be back for more AOR action. Thank you very much, and good night.